Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
So we're here at the CeBIT 2011, and what did you just talk about?
I don't really know.
You don't know?
No, I talked about Pirate Bay and Flattr.
And so what's going on? What's the latest things you've been doing?
We're making new things on Flattr, so we're adding more technology and we're adding more options and making the system easier to use, hopefully.
Is it growing? More and more people use it?
Yes, it's growing, but we want it to grow even faster and we want to implement it with more sites and so on. So that's kind of what we're trying to do.
Did you have the idea for Flattr a long time ago while you were doing the Pirate Bay and kind of like a solution for that?
It's 5 years old, the idea, and then last year we released the first prototype of it. So it's been a long process actually.
And have you been talking to politicians about it?
Yes, I've even been to the Parliament, in the European Union Parliament in Brussels, and talked about it and tried to make people understand that there are positive things you can do instead of legislation.
And so some politicians agree, or
Most agree.
most agree?
Yes, otherwise they're stupid.
But they agree, but why don't they do it then?
Because they don't know, because they're so influenced by lobbyists and they can't even, even though there's good options of things you can do, they can't really agree to that because it's outside of, what they promised companies, which is a problem.
So are you most of your time in Sweden still, or you travel a lot, or?
I travel 25 days per month.
25 days per month. You take airplanes every couple of days. And
Two today.
is that cool?
No,
No?
no, it sucks.
It sucks?
Yes, you shouldn't do it. It's bad for the environment and it's bad for your health and it's bad for everything.
Do you take EasyJet, or what kind
No,
of airplanes?
I don't take any airplanes that don't pay their employees well enough.
So
I boycott like Ryanair and all of those crappy companies.
recently, what cool place did you go to?
Went to New Zealand,
Well,
which was really great. And
before the
my
shake.
flight was the last flight to leave New Zealand before the earthquake. So we heard about it when we were landing. It was kind of scary.
Crazy. But you did. I mean, for example, where are you going next?
I'm going to Copenhagen now in
Copenhagen.
20 minutes.
Me too.
Oh, you're going?
No, but actually a little bit later.
Okay.
Okay, I'm from there. So do Scandinavia stand together with you? What's going on? Because there's some huge demonstration, like Pirate Bay demonstration. Everybody dress up like pirates.
Well, it's very different in each country. Like in Denmark, there's not really a lot of discussion about this because they're really quiet and they're kind of scared of talking about it. In Norway, it's a bit more open, but it's still no people that really discuss it openly. Even though the newspapers are trying to make that an issue. In Sweden, it's the opposite. Everyone just discussing it all the time, and like the good side already won the discussion there.
Does that mean Sweden is a better country?
No,
No.
no, it's not a better country. It's
No?
still a corrupt, crappy country, but that's most countries for you.
But so there's this new prime minister, right? Kind of like right wing. He came through like a few years ago, and has he been doing some really bad things?
Yes. He's basically selling all of the states. Owned companies and houses and everything, like selling out all of the welfare that's been built up in Sweden over the past 100 years, and selling all the infrastructure of the country and everything, and it's really, really bad.
Terrible. What do you think IKEA should do? They're making so much money and they're just hiding everything in Switzerland. That's where I come from also.
No, it's in Liechtenstein.
Liechtenstein?
Yes, it's not in Switzerland.
But the guy lives in Switzerland.
Yes, but the foundation he runs is in Liechtenstein. They take
Yeah.
3% of all the money that comes into IKEA. It's a big thing. Everyone in Sweden is really upset about it because it has no ties to Sweden anymore.
All right. Do you think there will be a solution soon
For IKEA?
for all these problems we have on the media, on the internet, and all that, and piracy and?
Piracy is not a problem really.
No?
No, but I think the big problem is that we still have like a class society that some people that have all the power have all the money, and then you have people that try to do things that have no money, and they're being abused by the people with the money and the power. It's the classical old class question that is still the same problem we had for hundreds of years.
The media industry is still a huge industry. Like they make tens of billions of dollars every year, so they want to keep on hold to that. They don't just give it away to like small YouTube video bloggers like me or something.
No, but that's the thing, and they try to control like the democratic tool we have with the internet. They want to control it so they can benefit from it themselves instead of letting society benefit. It's really not an okay way to do. They want to own the infrastructure or control that. We wouldn't allow them to control the roads, so they would force you to go to the record store instead of going to a concert. That would be crazy. But on the internet, it's kind of okay for them to try to do that, which is just totally bizarre.
Do you think the TV channels control a little bit democracy with what they publish and all that?
Definitely, and that's also a problem we have with seeing like in a lot of countries you don't have a public service, and if it's if you have public service, sometimes it's really like in Italy you have public service, but it's controlled by the same person that controls all of the commercial channels. So he banned political discussions from the public service. So I think all of the big places where you have discussions about politics or about society, you have to have a democratic place to do that. So you need to have democracy in place. And we're losing that more and more when it comes to TV and newspapers and so on. And the internet is kind of the final frontier for that.
Do you think Google TV is good software? It could help, or do you like Google?
I have never tried Google TV, and
Yeah?
I don't like Google.
You don't like Google?
No.
It could be nice, but to have a BitTorrent app on Google TV and just have an easy way to just sit back and download wherever you want.
Yeah, I haven't thought about that.
Okay.
Actually.
And what do you think about the anonymous BitTorrent? Is that working, or like seed boxes or anything like that, proxy?
Well, there's lots of VPN services and proxies and everything. So if you want to use one, you should use one. But if you shouldn't necessarily hide because you file share. That's also a problem, because I don't want people to feel that they're criminals or anything. Instead, everyone should just unite and say this is the way we want to have it.
Because you actually did a service for that, right? You still do?
VPN?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's.
One, yeah.
Is it growing? How do you get so much bandwidth for that kind of service? How does it
In
work?
Sweden, bandwidth is cheap.
Really?
Yes, and people pay for the service as well, so they pay for the bandwidth.
This is one of the countries where you get 100 megabits for like normal. It's normal kind of to get
Yes,
that.
I
at
have
home.
100 megabits in my apartment, both directions, and I pay like 25 euros per month.
But it is the best country in the world, or what?
No,
No?
it is not. There's no such
Stockholm
thing.
is very nice to
No,
visit.
Stockholm sucks. But
Sucks?
there's no such thing as the best country in the world.
Yeah?
Every country has problems, and every city has problems, and every person has problems. That's the thing. I think the grass is not always greener. It's just a thing that, wherever you are is always the best or the worst. So
Why don't somebody just build a perfect country somewhere and then people can copy that?
we tried.
You tried
We
where?
tried buying a nation once.
Where?
Sealand. Do you know it?
Sealand.
Yeah, it's a small island or like a nation outside of the UK. We tried buying it when they were up for sales. But
Why couldn't you get it?
we raised $25,000
Yeah.
in 2 days, and I think they wanted $6 billion. So we
Ah.
didn't have that much money.
All right, but couldn't you like just convince some politicians somewhere in Europe, for example, to start this like kind of like Flattr, make it a government policy, and then from there the rest of Europe will have to copy it.
Well, problem with that is that it would still be controlled by the government. I'm not against control of government as long as the government is elected democratically. But we have so many lobbyists that would go in and say like, hey, we want 20% of this, like the record industry, we focus all of the money they have and all the lobbyists to just get a big portion of that money. Because that money means that they don't have to do anything in the future. So you will never have a really democratic system for that. So in order to do that, you have to technical solution like Flattr to do that. But that also has to be, it should be something you can compete with. Otherwise you will have a monopoly that is just run by the wrong people. And monopolies are not good for that.
Cool. All right, good luck with your next conference.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.